Figuring out if a product is good or not can be difficult, so in this video I'll give you guys my exact strategy for testing products on TikTok, how you can actually set up a campaign, test a product extremely easily, and figure out if it's something you can actually scale up pretty quickly. Like, it'll be day one, you'll figure out if the product is good or not. Now understand, I use this exact strategy to take a product from $0 to $7,000 per day in 5 days, so it's not like I haven't used this method. Like, I'm using it very regularly as we're testing many products on TikTok. So before we get into it, be sure to leave a like. If this video does get 300 likes, I'll make another video TikTok related. It'll probably be like how I scale products, or maybe showing you guys my creatives or something along those lines, like showing you guys how to create creatives, because TikTok is very visual, so creatives play a big part in your ads. So again, if you want to see that, 300 likes and I'll make a video like that, and then also click subscribe below. Other than that though, we'll get into my computer. I'm going to quickly show you guys how I found the product. It's going to take like a minute, and then I'll get into the exact testing strategy you guys can use and give you guys some tips on how to run your ads properly with TikTok and test products, again, very efficiently, when to know like if the product works or not, like when to turn it off or when to keep going and all of that stuff. So without further ado, let's get into my computer. All right, first things first, I wanted to just show you guys how I found the product. So like I mentioned, it was on Mine A, and I basically just came to the Pinterest section, and I went over this in last video, but I just want to briefly touch on it. So basically we just came to here, went US, Canada, and you can go through a few other countries, but we just do that mainly right now. And then we went on Shopify, and then go to ClickFunnels as well, because a good amount of people are running ads on Pinterest, like e-com ads, but they're doing ClickFunnels. And then pins, we try to go like 1,000 plus, because pins are a little bit easier to obtain, so that's a pretty good metric you want to go for. And then we'll wait for this to load, and then you can basically just start going through these ads and figure out if there's like any cool product you want to run. So this is basically what we do like pretty often, guys. I'm going to be completely honest, because we're testing a lot of products, so the frequency of tests is high, which means we need to find a lot of cool products. So like, that's a cool product, it's in the beauty niche, so those are all good products, like the beauty niche products. So there's one. So we basically do this, and then let's say we find a product, we'll then go to TikTok and type it in. So one of the products we tested was this product, so I'll show you guys it. It's this little ice roller for your face. It's like the Jade roller, but a new version of it. The product sold, but the margins, or the ROAS wasn't there for us, so we stopped selling it. But basically what you do is you'd come here and you'd basically try to look if you could see a lot of content for the product. So there was enough content for this product. There were a good amount of videos to where we could easily download them and run ads with the content, which I'll make another video going over that. If you guys want videos like that, be sure to leave a like on this one. Once we get, we'll say 300 likes on this video, I'll do a video on that where I go over creatives and stuff, like an exact blueprint that you guys can follow. But yeah, that's basically what we do to validate the product. We just come on TikTok. We need to see like 10 to 100 pieces of content. And then after that, we basically test the product out and scale it if it works well. So I'll explain to you guys my overall testing strategy. I think that'll be pretty helpful for you guys. Let's now get into the exact TikTok testing structure that I've actually used to take, again, a product from 0 to 7K per day in 5 days, which is insanity that I'm able to do that with TikTok. TikTok is a beautiful platform, and if you can learn it, you can really scale up products very quickly and profitably. So here are the results of day one. It was around $3,700 in revenue. Now, keep in mind, this was once we actually pivoted the product from a general store to a one product store. Essentially, our testing strategy goes like this. We have a general store where we're running tons of different products to test and validate if they are good and if we should scale them. And then once we actually validate the product, we push the product into either a one product store or a niche store. And then that's essentially what this day one was. We actually set up ads. We knew the product was good, and so we pumped up revenue, pumped up ad spend, and we're able to do 3,700 day one. And then by day 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we had scaled it up to around 7K per day. That equates to $20,000 in revenue in the first 5 days of this product on the store, which is again really good, and you can do this as well. It's not too complex. So to actually get to this point, we need to go through a testing phase and validate the products. Before we get into the testing strategy, I will have a link in the description if you guys want to book a free strategy call with me and my team, and we can help you out this Q4 because we've got a lot cooking and we're doing a lot with TikTok ads. So again, I'll have a link in the description for that. The calls are free, so feel free to actually book one. But other than that, let's get into the testing strategy. Testing phase, there's one campaign and everyone has their own strategy, right? Like there's tons of different ways to run ads. At the end of the day, we're just trying to get spend and get our ads in front of people who are likely to buy our product. So keep that in mind. I'm sure there are other YouTubers with different strategies. However, this is just what's working with us. We've tested over 30 products, so it's not like we've done this once. We've done it quite a lot, so we know what works and what doesn't. So like I mentioned, one campaign, 3 ad groups in this one campaign. They're going to be ad sets or ad group level budget, not a CBO, and it's at $20 per day. Some people do like $20.30 or $20.70. We just keep it at $20 per day. It really doesn't matter that much. And then for targeting, we are currently not doing interests when we're testing. It's the most efficient way to run your ads. If you don't even have to target people, you can launch campaigns extremely quickly. So we do no targeting when we're getting started. Now, when we scale, that's a completely different story, which I'll probably get into that in another video. Now, you can narrow by age and gender. For example, if your product is specific to men, if it's something like a grooming product and you only want to target men, that's something where you should definitely change the gender to just male. However, if it's something that's not really gender specific, you can just leave all of that open. And then we also do 2 to 3 video ads in the actual ad. So you can do either dynamic creatives, which you can turn on in the ad group, or you can just create one ad creative and then duplicate that 2 times so that you then have 3 ad creatives in each ad group. They both work and there's not really like a crazy amount of differences we've seen. We do both, so it doesn't really matter as much as some people think. Now, what we do when we're testing, we want to, again, have $20 per day set per ad group, which is only a total of $60 to test the product if you actually let it spend the whole day. However, we do not do that. We let each ad group spend, and if there's no add to carts at $10 spent per ad group, we are most of the time going to turn off the product. I say most of the time because sometimes what will happen, and I'm sure if you've ran TikTok ads, you've seen this. Some of the times we've set up products and set up ads and they don't spend like at all throughout the day, but I usually leave the ad or the campaigns on, and then sometimes they'll start spending at like 10 p.m. where people, we're targeting the US, they're probably not going to be on their phones shopping, so it's kind of skewed data. If that's the case, you can let it spend another day if you want, but yeah, you should basically be seeing add to carts, and I say carts, not just one. You should be seeing a good amount of add to carts and even purchases at $10 spent. This is obviously dependent on your product sell price. If you're selling a $20 product, obviously you need to see purchases at $10 spent. However, if you're selling a $60 product or a $100 product, 100 plus, you shouldn't really expect like purchases at $10 spent maybe. And if you do, that's an amazing sign to start scaling it. However, again, at $10 spent, if you're not seeing really any add to carts, that is a sign that you should probably look to turn the product off and move on. I'm gonna go a little more in depth on when to stop running products. So like I mentioned, if it's not performing after day 1, you should definitely move on to another product. There are so many good products to actually run on TikTok. TikTok's audience is always growing, so don't get emotional if a product doesn't work, just move on. TikTok's something where we've seen the winning products, they show early on. So it's not like you're fighting for profitability with winning products. It's something where they feed you extremely cheap purchases. If you guys follow me on Instagram, and if you don't, I'll have a little @ right here. But if you guys follow me on Instagram, you saw I posted some results, and I've been posting results very consistently of my TikTok endeavors, I would say, because we've been going really hard on the platform. And we were testing a product that was like performing really good, and then we actually started to test a new strategy, and we're getting like a 20 ROAS now with it. So TikTok's something where they feed you very profitable purchases if it's a good product and if you have your ads set up properly. So it's amazing for you though, because you don't have to spend like 5 days testing a product to validate if it's a winner or not. Sometimes on Pinterest and Facebook, you usually have to let the ads run for a bit. However, with TikTok, we've seen that you can really test day one and figure out if it's working or not, which is great because you don't have to spend as much money to test products. I usually suggest people spending like $100+ to test a product, but now on TikTok, you really, again, you don't have to spend that much. So it's a very efficient platform for testing. Now, our biggest thing is we move on after day one and test a lot of products. So if it's not working, we do not fall in love with the product. That's the main point of TikTok. Do not fall in love with the product. If you think it's gonna work, but there's not enough creatives and your ROAS is terrible, don't fall in love with it and think it's gonna work, because you'll waste time and money and you will not have profitable results on TikTok if you do this and you get really emotional. So just keep moving forward and testing new products, because once you find one that's working really well, you'll be shocked and you'll be like, okay, I now know like not to at all fall in love with the product. If it doesn't work, I just keep moving. It's very simple. However, a lot of people like fall in love with a certain product and stuff, so it's not good at all to do that. Here are some testing tips, and I did want to mention, I did get sick the last week. I had I don't think I can say the word on YouTube, but I had what everyone's been getting for the past year, and it wasn't that bad. I was sick for like a week or so, and now I'm solid. So yeah, I apologize for not making a video in the past week or so, but I'll be back on the weekly posts. So yeah, just wanted to mention that. But like I was saying, testing tips. So if the product works really well, look to test in other countries. One of the things we're doing is, as soon as something works in the US, we understand that Canada works very well. The cost per purchase is actually significantly lower in Canada, so we run the products in Canada as well. And then we also test some other countries. However, I have my own agency ad account, so I'm blessed to be able to target pretty much any region, any country I'd like, which they don't allow you to do that if you're in the US and have a standard account. So you guys usually can't really do that, but Canada is a great country. Definitely give it a shot if you are in the US and have the possibility of testing that country. Now, you also want to test out new creatives very regularly. TikTok is a place where you're getting very cheap CPMs, which is amazing, but the downside of that is your ad creatives start to fatigue a bit quicker than normal. So to counter that, you consistently need new creatives. Now, this can be something as simple as just switching out the audio of your top performing creative, or editing the text, or doing something. I'll make another video on creatives because it's, again, pretty important with TikTok. But yeah, you should definitely be testing new creatives very regularly. Now, something else we test pretty early on, like once we're getting, I would say once we're at like a few grand a day, which is kind of early on for us because we go hard with our scaling once we find what works. But we test target cost to see if we can actually decrease our cost per purchase. We've seen kind of like 1/3 cost per purchase on target cost compared to auto bid, which is significant. So we definitely test target cost very regularly just to make sure we are getting our cheapest purchases and cheapest cost per purchases. This is something you again want to do once you already have some purchases on the product. Now, lastly, you want to keep testing many products until you find something that's an obvious winner. It'll be something where it's like day one, you have really good ROAS and it's just like showing it in your face, like, hey, this is really profitable. And then you can scale that up. But that's pretty much, guys, like my overall testing strategy. It's not too complex. Me and my team keep it very simple, and we just want to find what's working and then do this, where we scale it up and crush it with the product, because this is very doable once you find what works, which again, I'll go over scaling and all of that stuff in future videos, but that is pretty much it for testing. That's gonna wrap it up for my detailed testing strategy. It's very simple. I don't like to overcomplicate my strategies. We just, like with me and my team, we keep everything very simple, systemized, so that we know exactly what to do. And if a product works, we know exactly how to scale and do all that stuff. So like I mentioned, 300 likes on this video, I'll show you guys exactly how I create creatives, and I'll show you some of my past creatives I've ran. And if you guys need more help with Q4 and running your store, be sure to book a free strategy call with my team. I'll have a link in the description for that. Other than that though, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys in next week's video.